used to struggle with trying to understand how I could go from feeling perfectly fine one minute to bottoming out a few minutes later to completely feeling like another person. How could it be? I wondered that out loud many times. Sometimes it was almost like a black cloud approaching. You know what I mean? Have you ever been outside on a sunny day and suddenly a huge black cloud just blows right in, and the middle of the day seems to go straight to nighttime, and somehow we skip the afternoon? Well, that's what I'm talking about here. And if I'm to be honest with you, it still happens sometimes, although I'm a lot better at seeing it coming these days and heading it off the pass. I'm a lot better at stepping outside of things and figuring out what's going on. Some of that could be due to age, but a good portion of it is a learned response, and anyone can learn it. It comes down to sheer manipulation. Because if you can be manipulated, you can be made to do just about anything. You can be controlled. You can be dumbed down. You can be corralled into a tiny little pen and not even know it. You can be tricked into handing over some cold hard cash. Manipulation can make you think you're fighting for the rights, for yourself, for your beliefs, when in reality you're just walking around and around in a little circular cage, wasting your energy. And when your hands are tied, and your time is wasted, and your energy has been siphoned, you're just not going to rock the boat, are ya? You're going to behave. But what if the flip side were also true? What if you could kind of manipulate yourself, so to speak? Maybe manipulation isn't the best word here because, well, when it comes to talking about yourself, it's such a negative word, and rightly so. So let's use the word influence instead. What if you could influence yourself in the same way you are often subconsciously influenced by others? As a matter of fact, you can. And it's all done through words, as usual. Everything in the world ultimately comes down to words. Never forget that. And in particular, I want to talk here about what's known as switch words. Switch words are simple, easy, usually just singular words that can have a huge impact on you by sidestepping your conscious mind and going directly to your subconscious mind. There, they trigger responses and actions, and particularly behaviors. A switch word is an entire idea that's funneled down into one word, and that one word represents the whole idea without being laborious in having to repeat several paragraphs. Like, you could have an idea about wanting good health and eating right and not needing medicine and feeling great and blah, blah, blah. You could write several paragraphs about this idea in how you want to incorporate it into your life, which would be great. You could read those paragraphs over and over, which, again, is a great idea. And then you could distill all of those words, so to speak. You could distill them down to a single word. And that single word then becomes an explosion for your subconscious because it represents all those things that you wanted for yourself. Using the above example, you could boil it all down to the word health or strength or energy. Now that word comes to mean all those paragraphs that you wrote for yourself, but it's all just one word. Switch words mean a lot of stuff whether you write these paragraphs out or not. Even if you never consciously think about a situation at all, even if someone else uses the switch word, it still can have a serious effect on you. Does that surprise you? It's been going on forever. Sigmund Freud brought attention to this fact by suggesting that words can and do have power, and they can bypass the conscious brain and take an express train to your subconscious mind. He didn't necessarily invent this idea, but he did bring it to light. The way it works is a particular switch word means something big, as I described before, and you say it out loud or whisper it or write it or sing it, whatever you want. It bypasses the conscious negativity almost all of us seem to have, because there's nothing for our conscious minds to argue with. And our conscious minds are really good at arguing. So let me put it this way. Have you ever tried doing positive affirmations and you found that they didn't work, or they only just worked a little? They can be good, but often we don't continue with them. Maybe we'll do them for a day or a few days or a week or two, and then they just kind of drop off and we don't say the affirmations anymore. Why is that? Because life gets in the way. Let's say you're doing an affirmation to get over being hurt by someone in the past, and you're saying to yourself several times a day, I now move on and leave sorrow in the past and create a new life for myself. Or, I am willing to let go of the past and move into the future. Whatever. Okay, fine. That's all great. But then, life happens. Your boss acts like a jerk. Your best friend ghosts you. Someone throws eggs on your car. You fall down and injure yourself. And the black cloud starts to settle over you. You know what I mean? You want to say your positive affirmations. You want to do right by yourself, but you've got a million things that are hurting right now. And yes, those affirmations would eventually help you, but it's hard to do them when you feel like garbage, isn't it? But you want to know what's not hard to do? It's not hard to say the word forgive over and over. And that word, forgive, is a switch word. It represents all those wonderful affirmations I mentioned above, all those wonderful things you wanted to say, but can't, because right now you might be feeling pretty awful. So instead of the affirmation, you say the switch word, forgive, with nothing else. Not, I forgive you. Not, I forgive myself. Not, I forgive the past. None of that. Just forgive. That is easy. That can be done anytime, anywhere, by anyone. That can be done when you're laying on the floor in tears. And you don't have to conjure up all kinds of thoughts and images and feelings. You don't have to memorize long paragraphs. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to believe in God, although I think it helps. You don't have to do anything but say, forgive, over and over. Chanted like a mantra. Forgive, 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 forgive. Because forgive represents to your subconscious mind all those things your conscious mind would like to do when it is cooperating and not being commandeered by all the negativity in life. You know, there's a lot of jerks out there, and they can really weigh you down. They can keep your conscious, everyday mind wallowing in sorrow and getting nothing done for you. But your subconscious mind is in the background, just waiting for some commands, just waiting to hear from you. You can give your subconscious mind a command, or someone else can give your subconscious mind a command. Either way, though, it's gonna happen. And rest assured, if you do not take control of what's funneling into your subconscious mind, someone else will. And they might not have your best interests at heart. You might be asking, can this be true? Yes, it is true. Switch words simply exchange one type of energy for another. As I said, Sigmund Freud first suggested this idea in 1905 in his fragment of an analysis of a case of hysteria, where he said that ambiguous words act like points at a junction. If the points get switched, you find yourself on another set of rails. It's on the second set of rails that you'll find out what's really going on in your subconscious mind. Then, in 1963, a man who worked in advertising named James T. Mangan seized upon this idea and wrote a book about switch words called The Secret of Perfect Living, which I'll link to below. His book didn't sell very well in those days. Maybe people just weren't ready to hear about it. But he came up with an interesting list of switch words, many of which seem like common sense and others that seem completely bizarre. Regardless, though, they work. Then another man named Shunyam Nirav wrote, "Switch words easily give you whatever you want in life." He really set the ball rolling on switch words, and many people have used these words, no matter how strange some of them may seem, with amazing, life-changing results. Again, I'll link below. People swear by these switch words and that they work, and I have to say, I have tried some of them myself, and they do seem to help. Some make sense, like the word scheme, which can mean to advertise or promote a business, or done, which means to reach a stated goal. But there are a lot of words that seem strange, like waste, to appear wealthy, or ridiculous, to get publicity. Yes, you heard that right, ridiculous. The master switch word, though, is the word together. It helps you focus on things, sort of like a magnifying glass. It ultimately means your right brain and left brain work together, which they often do not do. The word divine is used when you want a miracle. The word bring is used to manifest what you want. It's a power word to create. Well, it doesn't cost you anything to try, but here is something I want to stress. Switch words or keywords, whatever you want to call them, can and are being used on a daily basis all around you. Whether you want to believe that or not, they are affecting you. You might call it mumbo-jumbo, but I can assure you, there are advertisers and corporations and politicians out there that are not calling it mumbo-jumbo at all. You better believe that they believe. And they are using switch words every day and counting on you not knowing about it or not caring about it. So it might behoove you to learn these words and try them out for yourself. Here's a small sample list of switch words and their meanings that you can try. You've got nothing to lose by trying these. In fact, you might have a lot to gain. You never know until you put it into action. I still struggle with the darkness of this world. We all do. And I can't promise you a perfect life, but I can offer you a little bit of help. Here's one switch word I want you to remember. If you remember nothing else I've said here before, if you don't care about anything I've said, I want you to remember this one word: cancel. It can mean not only canceling debt, but also canceling whatever emotion or thought is trying to take you over. And you know what I mean. Whatever form of control and manipulation is being planted in your brain. When you're scrolling through social media and suddenly you feel terrible or down or depressed or useless, you say the word cancel over and over. Cancel, cancel, cancel. When you're shown continually bad news and wars and famine and sorrow and death and the destruction of your way of life, and at the end, of course, just buy this product and you'll feel a lot better, stop right there and say, cancel. Cancel, cancel, cancel. And this is not about denial. You're not pretending that the world is perfect and no problems have ever existed. You're not refusing to see the meanness in others. You're not refusing to live in the real world. All you're doing is not allowing the negative, the control, the manipulation to get into your subconscious mind and hurt you. You acknowledge that it's there, but you're putting a hand up and saying, "Hitherto shalt thou come, but no further, no further." Cancel. Cancel, cancel, cancel. If you don't believe me, try it. Try to say cancel when someone tries to hurt you, and that includes yourself. When you torture yourself over and over and over for something that happened in the past, just say cancel. Cancel, cancel, cancel. And don't worry what other people think about you if you try this. Count on yourself instead. Find divine peace. Remember, you're in charge of what goes into your mind and what gets to stay there. Become the rock. Limit the negativity. Bring yourself together.